My name is Elon. I ran the thing, I guess. And everybody thinks this is Jen's panel, but it's not. It's mine. So, I have a lot of stuff prepared, so this is going to be a little crazy. So, here's how this is going to work. Essentially, the one thing I hope you guys take away from this is that anybody can do something like this, and anybody can help anybody with anything, right? As long as you have the drive, the passion, and the reason for doing it, it's doable. So I had a lot of jokes, but I don't have enough time. I have so much information. So what's going to happen is for the first 30, 45 minutes-ish, I'm just going to be spouting information at you, so try to keep up. I'm not going to keep up, but I hope you do. So this is basically going to be a storytelling of how all of this went down, and maybe you can learn from my successes or mistakes or anything that you can plan for your next adventure of sorts. So RTX 2013, right? Came by myself. Just decided to spend the money. It was a graduation present as well. Met a lot of people. Had a lot of fun. Did the Gauntlet intro thing, and I started, after that I decided, I kind of wanted to get more involved with the RT community. So went home, made an account on the site. Actually found I had an account on the site already made. Forgot the password, did the whole password rewrite thing. And started being a little more active. I started posting some journals, started, making an effort to talk to people in the community. And it was very welcoming, it was very heartwarming, it was very, very, very well received. So finally, a couple months later, we went and did the Gauntlet shoot in September. There I met with Corey, with Jaden and Stan, and those guys were just crazy. I had no idea what their deals were, but if those are the kind of people that were on the site, like I would be fully willing to really put myself out there for that site, because those guys were pretty awesome. And then the interaction with the RT staff and with everybody, and the way we were so well received for that, really made me go full into the community afterwards. So did the Gauntlet shoot. After the show aired, like, everything blew up, because people were like, hey, you're the guy on the thing, whoa, it's crazy. And then, more people started talking, more people, were sending friend request messages, Twitters, everything was just blowing up. Then after that, a couple months later in June, I decided to stream for reals. So I decided to, keep a consistent schedule. I did all that fun stuff, started with one viewer, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that all happened. Finally came RTX 2014. After having interacted with so many people on the site, I was super excited to finally, get to meet everybody that I met on the site in real life, because I thought that was going to be pretty cool. And it really was. It was my first year as a Guardian as well, so I got to meet tons and tons of people. It was such a great experience. I strengthened bonds with, the faceless internet people who are just texts and not voices at all. And during the end, I'm sure everybody knows the story now, that Zelda and I shared, a 12-hour goodbye, where we said goodbye in the morning, then we wound up taking the same bus to the airport, then we wound up taking the same flight to Detroit, and then we actually said goodbye. So it was like, I'll see you later. And start walking in the same direction. Okay. Imagine that for 12 hours. It was great. It was great. So, I think it was a couple weeks after RTX that I saw that 1 week after RTX that I saw that she posted that, she was diagnosed with cancer. And after, being friends with somebody on the internet and then having such a strong bonding experience through, a 12-hour goodbye and something, and, you just get along so well with that person, and then finding out that that's a deal, it was, it's something that stuck with me for, basically for, the entirety of that, few months of radio silence. Well, the 1 month of radio silence. So yeah, finally, I saw that Audrey was doing she was sending Zelda what was an awesome box, which was full of baked goods and little notes that people had written to help her, when she was feeling down and all that kind of stuff. So after seeing that kind of stuff, I started seeing that, people on the internet can really have an effect on other people on the internet. Right. So yeah, so that happened, and then finally I went up to Audrey and I sent her a message. I was like, hey, so I know this is a big deal with money issues with cancer. I know that sucks. Do you think doing a 24-hour marathon? And this was right after I had seen the Achievement Hunter Extra Life marathon. So I was like, do you think this is a good idea? She's like, yeah, go for it. So I sent Zelda the sneakiest message ever. I sent her a message. I was like, hey, so I've had some relatives that got caught up with the cancer issue. Are you going to be okay monetarily? She's like, well, maybe. She gave me like a vague answer. It's like, well, I mean, we're going to be fine, but it's not going to be good. I'm like, yeah, that's not good. So I didn't say anything after that. It was just like, then the plotting began. And then finally I decided to go full in. I started planning this. I started really like getting into gear with all this stuff. And one person joined me in helping organize all of this. And this person is, somebody who you all know. She does a lot for the community now, more so than she's ever done. And she was a member of a panel yesterday too. So everybody please welcome Audrey. Come explain some stuff that happened because I don't remember. Hello. Feel free to take a seat. I'm just standing forever. So I sent you that message, and then like what happened? Because I don't remember at all.
You sent me the message, and then we started plotting behind Jen's back, and then completely sprung on her this entire idea. Didn't give her any kind of warning, of course.
As good friends do.
Yeah. So we completely sprung this on her. I had already worked with RVBOR and a couple of other groups doing social media for them. So I went on Twitter, I went on Facebook, I went around the RT community just going crazy, telling people, this is what we're doing, this is the date, like really help us out, and here's how this is going to go down. Getting as many people involved as possible, getting them really excited, really pumped about this.
Right. So we planned this for roughly 2 weeks, right? And then finally, like, at the last week of July, after, like, 3 days of just mental anguish, because I get inside my head a lot. I get inside my own head quite a bit. So after 3 days of writing rough drafts after rough drafts after rough drafts of how I was going to announce this thing on the RT site, I finally decided, screw it. I posted the damn thing, and I just sat there waiting, like, are people going to like this? Are people not going to like this? Because it's one of those things where it's like, I had so many worries about it because I had spent the 3 days of it writing the rough draft, so I was hoping it was going to be well received. And if people weren't on board with the idea, it would look terrible, and it would make me feel terrible, and it would look terrible for Jen, it would look terrible for Audrey, who was involved, it would look terrible for everybody, because it would just be like, hey, look, I'm doing this thing. Everybody's like, whatever. Who cares? And then after that, like, I had a fear of, like, everything that I had planned for 2 weeks just going straight to hell after. Like, so that I was basically banking on that announcement. And ultimately there was, like, if this didn't fly, there was going to be no help for Zelda. So, it was, then we would really be in, like, a situation where, like, I couldn't really do anything, and that would be terrible. But as you all know, the actual reception of it was an absolute blow-up. Yeah, people, like, one of the, it's really funny, because one of the things about the RT site that people complained a lot were the upvotes. How when somebody upvoted something, it would show on all their friends' feeds. But this really helped, because people were thumbing up that post. I think there were, like, 90 thumbs up by, like, the first day.
Yeah. And
more and more people just kept getting into it. I got tons of messages. Jen cried. It was great. That's what we always aim for.
Yeah.
Except for, 3 people thumbed down the post. So, sorry. So yeah, I started getting lots of messages of people offering the help, of people with encouraging words. There were, like, a bunch of items that people wanted to give away for donation incentives. Like, Snedzy, I finally pronounced his name right. I kept calling it Sneeds, but it's Snedzy. He corrected me yesterday.
Oh, is that how that's pronounced?
Yeah, it's Snedzy. I called him Sneeds, and, like, he just comes up, he's like, yeah, my name's Sneds. I was like, what? You call me Sneeds. Oh, okay. So, yeah, he donated, like, a Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 comic, and it was graded and everything. I was like, what's wrong with it? Andres, who's Calante on the site, donated a Deadpool comic. See the Reason, like, made a ton of art for it. There was tons of other posters and prints and people donating a bunch of stuff, and it was so awesome. Sorry I can't name everybody, but thank you if you're involved with that. And even then, like, donations actually began pouring in. Like, I think after that post, I already had, like, close to $200 worth of donations, which is a lot of money. Like, a stupid amount of money. Yeah, and then each day, it just kept getting bigger and bigger, because more people were seeing the post and more people were on board with it. So, like, it was really cool to see that, like, all those worries were for nothing. Like, I was very happy to see that. Because if that had gone wrong, like I would probably not be here today. I'd probably just be at home, like wallowing in pain or whatever. And then even bigger than that, like people from the RT cast and staff started seeing it and started thumbing up. I know Barber made a mention, like Barber made me featured user. I know JJ put a mention of it out there. It was crazy. Yeah, it got blower upper. I wrote that down there. And I vaguely caught wind of like plots on Reddit to ruin the marathon, which you have something big when people on Reddit are plotting to ruin it, right? Then as that kept growing, I decided I wanted to make it even bigger, so I got other communities involved. I was a member of the Lord Cat Mafia. For those of you who don't know, Lord Cat used to work with Channel Awesome. He did Until We Wins. And I had like grown close to him, and he lent me his website, which was a 24/7 streaming website for the entirety of the marathon. It was crazy. And he had a chat in his website. He had an IRC that completely dedicated to it, and he donated it to us for 24 hours. It was quite amazing. And so yeah, then I decided more. We want more. So I had just started really delving into Twitch, and I started really getting involved into Twitch, and I saw a gentleman by the name who goes by Man vs. Game. For those of you that know him, he's been doing the streaming thing for close to like 4 or 5 years now, and he's amazing. He is a showsman. Like he really knows how to put it on a performance, and knows how to be crazy. And then I sent him an email. I was like, hey, so I have this thing going on. Is it cool for me to buy ad space on your stream? Like I'll donate you $5, and then you just mentioned this happening. He's like, yeah, sure, it's great. So I finally sent him the donation, and he read it out loud, and then he immediately refunded it. I was like, oh, okay. And then he announced the thing in front of like 5,000 people watching him on Twitch, and immediately the email that I was using at the time became unusable. It was just follows after follows after follows. He followed me himself, made other people follow me, and I think I had just broken 100 followers the week before that, and then it shot up to 800. So yeah, and ultimately, like it led to like I have an actual relationship with Man vs. Game, not that kind. Like we're actually like friendly with each other, like not that kind. Yeah, I saw him. Hey, stop it. Yeah, I saw him at PAX East, and we like hung out. It was like the first time we actually met in person, but it felt like we've been friends for forever. And then finally, after that, I decided to get another gentleman involved by the name of Zeke. He's Ezekiel_III on Twitch. He's Man's best friend, Man's childhood friend. They're almost butt buddies. And it's funny because Zeke is a little more scatterbrained than Man is. Like they're perfect complements to each other. Where Man is like the uptight, like super organized person, and Zeke is just a slob, like cares, does whatever. So he was the person I should have emailed before asking for him to read aloud a donation, but I didn't. I just sent him a donation. I was like, hey, read this if you want. And he did. And so the same thing happened again. Like another bajillion people saw that this was happening, and another bajillion people followed the channel and were super excited for the marathon. Yeah, so there was another like 500 follows there. And for those of you who don't know Man vs. Game Zeke, I'd like to share a little something. I encourage you to please follow them on their Twitter. Norton. And this is the video. So yeah, so the whole story behind that is this was back when Justin TV was a thing and Twitch wasn't a thing. There was a huge like breast cancer donation drive, and the person who went before them was a gentleman by the name of Craig. He's known as the Craigasm guy on Twitch. And he did, I forget what he did, but he did something so unbelievable. He got like $10,000 donated just during like a 5-hour stretch. So they thought, oh, we need to up that. And they did this. And they managed to get like $15,000. So it's crazy. Just for dancing in Speedos. I don't know. I hope I get there someday. All right. So all that happened, and then finally came down to the last week before the marathon. It was 5 days of prep that I had. And I tried to organize the giveaways first, but that didn't work out. I just had like a list of the giveaways saved as a draft on my email that I deleted. I saved some photos to show off some of the giveaway stuff during the stream, and that was it. It's completely unprepared, and if you guys were there, you know why that nothing worked for that aspect. Then I began staying up for days. Like I think I slept a total of maybe like 3 hours on the week of the marathon, just to like get myself acclimated with staying awake and staying like, vigilant and having enough energy to keep everybody entertained. Yeah. So and then I just got sleep from Thursday to Friday, which Friday was the start of the marathon. So I slept Thursday night into Friday afternoon, and then that was it. I did some grocery shopping. I bought hot peppers, habanero and jalapenos, some Red Bull, some vegan buffalo bites, because apparently I was vegan at the time. I don't know. Some vegan hot dogs, again, I don't know. Coffee, vodka, and pizza. Those were the supplies. And then I started setting up the tech the day of. For those of you that are curious, the techs were 2 laptops, this laptop, and another like MacBook that almost no longer works. 4 monitors in total, 3 separate lights, not including ceiling lights, and a green screen that was precariously balanced on a bookshelf. And then finally, wait, is there anything I'm missing? Like, did anything else happen?
In the pre?
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay, good. So I got everything.
You got it covered, yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Awesome. So then finally, marathon time. Needless to say, like, I was shaking. Kind of like how I was laying down here before the actual panel. Really nervous. And immediately I saw like 67 people were there even before the marathon started. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then like 100 people showed up. And then 200 people showed up as the marathon was starting. I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Great. Immediately, blue screen issues. I had no idea what it was, but I got like 8 blue screens through the entirety of the marathon, and it turned out it was the driver I was using to use my PlayStation 3 controller on the computer. And I had no idea at the time, so it was like, I had planned to play through a shit ton of Zelda games, because, Zelda. But that went out the window immediately. I was like, well, plan B, I guess. And there wasn't really a plan B. So
We actually had a counter going in the chat. I think it was 13 times that he blue screened during a 24-hour stream.
Well, don't use that driver. I don't even know what it's called anymore. So finally I decided, screw this, I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to play, I'm going to do some shenanigans. It's going to be great. As I took that break, Ezekiel the Third and Man vs. Game decided to raid my channel, which, for those of you that don't know, in Twitch, it's whenever you're done with a broadcast, you just send everybody in your chat room, which for Zeke was about 800 people that day, into this other person's chat room, and you just spam like a certain, what they call a raid call, just to say that everybody's here. And it's great, because, everybody gets to know everybody, and, chat doesn't work, and then the viewer counter doesn't work, and it's cool. And that's where I revealed, the fuck stick. Yeah, I want to say that again, I really do. That's where I revealed the fuck stick. And that was an ode to Zeke, because what Zeke does is anytime he gets a raid, he gets what he calls the fuck knuckle, which is an actual giant warhammer, and he swings it around and he starts like pretending he's battling. He has like a Viking helmet. It's great. So since he did that, I was ready to like give an ode to him. So that's what like spawned out of that. And I just grabbed the spear that I found on my wall, and I was like, fuck stick. All right, great. And then after that, I was like, I couldn't play the Zelda game, so I immediately defaulted to playing Crypt of the Necrodancer on a dance pad. I immediately got tired. Like, not even 20 minutes in, I immediately got tired. And I tried to pad some time with some giveaways, because I forgot about them. So I figured, hey, this is a good time for giveaways, since I don't want to move. So more of the marathon went on, and I made a complete ass of myself. I'm not afraid to admit that. I think that's actually pretty cool. According to Man vs. Game, I made an ass of myself as well. So I drank a lot too quickly because of the blue screen issues. I started taking shots and then drinking out of the bottle. It was bad. My hair was going stupid crazy, although nothing has changed. But it was messing with the green screen, which was kind of funny. Exhaustion was already setting in from Necrodancer. Like, I was already like dead tired. Like, I didn't want to move. And I kept forgetting giveaways and everything. And meanwhile, Man vs. Game like called somebody he knows at Team Meat, who are the people behind Super Meat Boy, and they tweeted out that the marathon was happening. So even more people were showing up as I was falling apart. It was great. And then the next part comes in, and I like to call this the TFT Rescue. I see you guys back there. Where we had some Minecraft time with the crew from the Forum Thread podcast, and I decided to invite them on because Like, I knew Lozella was a part of that, and I figured it would be a great way to, have her friends support her and what she was going through. And then even Zelda herself joined in. Zelda and Jeff, you guys were both a part of that. That was cool. Then Stan Lewis from the Gauntlet, who was supposed to be here. I don't see him though. What a jerk. He's too Hollywood now. He also joined in, and then instead of giving us the Minecraft server information, he posted in the chat with 600 people. So it immediately turned bad because we were hoping everybody was at least going to be able to get in, and we were, but there was just so much crazy stuff. I didn't even know what was happening. I was already like half drunk, exhausted, and then there were people hitting me, and then I was flying. I don't know. Lots of crazy stuff happening. And then somebody offered their server with Achievement City, which was even cooler because that gave it like more of the spice of the Rooster Teeth community.
And then Achievement City got burned down by lava.
Did I do that?
No, that was my husband.
Oh, even better. Okay, good. It's your fault. All right. Yeah, and it's about here towards the end of the Minecraft stuff where wall number 1 happened. And wall number 1 is where, it's the point where you start falling asleep and, you can't keep your eyes open. Right? So yeah, that's wall number 1. There's about 3 walls at least that I experienced on a marathon. So I decided to, after, the Forum Thread podcast and Zelda and Stan said their goodbyes from the stream. Also, by the way, did I take my shirt off on stream?
No.
No?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm fairly certain you did not take your shirt off.
No, we did. Stan and I took our shirts off when I took a shot.
I must have been taking a coffee break.
Good. Everybody forget that. So finally, I decided I was so tired and I was so out of it that I decided to do the one thing I hate, which is play scary games at night. Started doing some Amnesia, and of course, like, people started, like, making stupid, like, alternate accounts to follow to scare me with the stupid noise thing. Hate all of you. I vaguely remember at this point we broke $4,000, and then I ran out of Red Bull, and I was drunk, and I started getting even more tired, and then I was even, then I don't remember anything after that.
I was convincing people to subscribe to him on Twitch to wake him up with the subscription sound because he was just falling asleep with his eyes open and just staring at the screen. So I was just getting people to subscribe to wake him up.
Yeah. So the next thing I remember is at 7 a.m. the next day. And I think we started Amnesia around 3 o'clock. So there's a solid 4-hour block that I just don't remember. Yeah, and I remember Left 4 Dead 2 with all the community team from the Gauntlet was pretty awesome. I think everybody enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. It was just one of those things where the chat was so crazy, like, and I was so inexperienced with Twitch that I just couldn't keep up with the chat, and I felt terrible, and I kept eating away at the back of my mind every time I was actually awake to think. And by the way, I was still forgetting a ton of giveaways at this point. Like, just a lot of stuff that people donated. Just, I'm an asshole. So yeah, so whoever was modding at the time, thank you. I don't know if anybody here actually was, except for YouTube. Yeah. So that happened. Then the next thing I remember was cutting my hand. I think there's like a solid 8-hour block that just doesn't come to memory at all. I vaguely remember like necrodancing, and then trying to do more stuff and more blue screens, and then defaulting to necrodancing, and then getting even more tired and more drunk. Then I ate like a hot pepper at one point, and it hurt. So yeah, so the deal with the cutting my hand was I dropped the fuck stick on the dance pad adapter because it was a PlayStation 2 dance pad. So I dropped it and it got bent. So I figured, hey, there's a razor blade here. I'm gonna go try to fix this. So trying to do it, and boom! I still have the scar to this day too. Cut it. Woke me up instantly. It was like, all right, I'm no longer drunk and or tired. Then eventually I got it to work. So hey, problem solved. So yeah, and then I did more of that. Again, everything's going blank. Did I miss anything? I know I tried to do like a ton of giveaways at the end, but that didn't work out because I just forgot everything.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is me yelling at you for about 20 minutes about the razor blade and trying to use that to open. Oh,
well, I wasn't even looking at the chat at that point.
You weren't.
I was just trying not to bleed on the ground. So yeah, and then it ended, I guess. I don't remember. I don't know. I vaguely remember everybody being mad at me. I don't remember why.
Because you kept going after the 24 hours.
Oh, well, why were you mad?
Because you needed sleep and you were cutting yourself with razors.
Apparently that's entertaining enough for people to donate. So that was that marathon from my eyes, or brain. Not very much there left. So I'd like to talk about a couple of the things that actually work. Everybody loved it. There was a lot of money raised to help Zelda. I think we were very close to $7,000 raised, which was enough for maybe like the first surgery part of it. Yes. Groups spawned on the Rooster Teeth site about LoZeldathon. There was too many messages and notifications on my thing, and I've had a couple of conversations about the new site, how there's a lot of notifications now, and that was the exact same thing, where it's like I would look at like the 50 notification thing, and be like, I'll get to that later. Come back another day, it's like 60. I'll come back to that later. 100. Later. And yeah, it was a very memorable event for a lot of people, or else you wouldn't be here. Including Man vs. Game and Zeke, they both loved the parts that they were there for. And it was great. Alcohol aside, the preparations were pretty solid, physically speaking. Support from everybody in the community was amazing. I love that. I keep saying this, and you guys don't believe me, but that wouldn't have happened. Like, I did nothing. That was all everybody that donated, everybody that participated, because I was just literally like falling asleep in the camera and like yelling at stuff, and you guys were the ones donating and making that successful. So, really, I didn't do anything. Now, the things that didn't go so well. Obviously, the blue screen, which I was able to find the issue like a month later. I needed more Red Bull, more coffee, and less alcohol. The giveaways were stupidly unorganized. Ultimately, were not very successful at all. Because I asked people to send me messages somewhere instead of writing it down, and I got a ton of people who didn't win anything, just being like, hey, I won this, send me stuff. Like, no. And then I had to teach on Monday, and that didn't go so well. But overall, it was a success. Woo. Yeah, everybody was happy, things got did. Yeah, cool. So yeah, that was LoZeldathon. And afterwards, for some odd reason, I wanted to keep this whole thing about doing marathons for people going. And it spawned during communications with Zelda after the marathon. I remembered, I asked her if everything was okay. And I guess people were messaging her about doing other marathons and stuff, and she was just like, I don't need any more help. Stop it. And then like that spawned into us talking about who else wanted some help. And Zelda was like, ooh, let me help. I was like, stop. And then we finally talked enough where we picked out Lambency for the next marathon. And Lambency, you're right there. Hi. Good to meet you. So I contacted Lambency before the marathon began, because I didn't know her as well as I did Zelda, and I knew Zelda was going to be cool with rolling with the punches and being part of this. So I had to make sure that this was going to be okay, and that wasn't going to drive, or it wasn't going to be like not cool, or she didn't want to be a part of it, but she was, and she did need help and was willing to participate in the event. So that was really cool. Then finally, again, 3 days of rough drafts and, deleting stuff and getting inside my own head, I decided to put out another announcement for Marathon 2 the next month. It was September 20th, I think.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
20th, 27th, something like that.
I remember the actual marathon, I think, was on the 28th or the 27th. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the worries were still the same, but, the fact that we had that LoZeldathon go so well, I had a notch of confidence on my belt, so I was more willing to just move it forward. The response again was great. It obviously wasn't as big because people were just like, oh, he's doing another marathon, great. Yeah, all right. But people were still super into it. There was still a lot of crazy stuff happening. There were another, like, a bunch of items were donated to give away. People were so, like, gung-ho about helping, and it was really, really special to see. Once again, I called Man vs. Game and Zeke. They were on board. I also got the help from a gentleman called Elegy of Games. For those of you who don't know Elegy of Games, he actually just went full-time streaming not too long ago. He was my window into Twitch. He was the gentleman that actually like I just caught his broadcast by chance, and I just fell in love with him. And then through him, I started seeing all of Twitch and like the streaming thing. And so if it wasn't for him, these would not have happened. And throughout the whole process, he was helping me with like streaming advice and Twitch advice, and a lot of other stuff. And he was super ridiculously nice. So let me introduce you guys to Elegy of Games. I promise this clip is not as terrifying as. And since I was in school at the time, I lived with like 6 people, including my landlord and his wife. So I had to warn them that I was about to stay up for 24 hours, screaming and stamping on the floor because I lived in the attic. So I had to warn them, and the landlords were super ridiculously nice about it, and they even donated towards it. So completely crazy. And the other roommates were like, whatever, just don't wake me up. Then marathon prep began again. Audrey was taking care of all the social media-ing.
Yeah, we developed the hashtag because we had LoZeldathon. We did Lambency Fest instead.
Yeah, and then
creating the events.
And then you did that website too.
Yeah, I created a Weebly for it and just made a hub for all of Elon's streams so that people could see what his next stream would be and when that would be. If we were, on a hashtag or whatever, people could see that all in one space.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was a lot of that, and this was me going, "Hey, Audrey, I'm going to do this again." She's like, "Okay, great, I'll do whatever I did." And that's what she did. And then another person decided to join the team, and I'm very happy that person did join the team because it made the marathon run so much more smoothly. And you all know her, so there's no reason to introduce her. It was none other than Miss LoZelda herself, Jen. Hi.
Hi.
So you really wanted to hop in and help, and I figured that since the giveaways were such a terrible disaster last time that I needed help with those, right? So how did we organize that?
Magic.
Magic.
I live in spreadsheets all the time. Everything's in a spreadsheet. So I made nice little handy Google Docs so that way all 3 of us could get into them with what the item was, who would donate it. I had slots for who would want it and at what time we were giving it away, so that way we could keep track of what had actually been done. And
yeah, no, it was great. I remember specifically the first time you emailed me the spreadsheet that I was on there, and I was starting to fill stuff out. And then there was a block all the way on the top left, with something written, and I was like, "Hello." I was like, "Did I do that? What's happening?" I had no idea Google Docs let 2 people simultaneously edit a sheet. So she was talking to me through the spreadsheet, and I was like, "What the hell is happening?" Right? I thought I was going crazy. Well, crazier. But yeah, so we finally had all of the giveaway stuff organized, and we had it down to the hour that we were giving it away, which I thought was pretty crazy, and that made things go a lot smoother. We'll get to how that wasn't so smooth later. Not her fault, my fault. So yeah, and she basically helped organize everything that went wrong with that first marathon. Oh, look who shows up now! I'm kidding. Stan Lewis, everybody. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. Then came down to the actual prep. I didn't go get groceries because I didn't have a card. And I was in school. So all I did was buy a pizza, and I didn't have coffee or energy drinks either because I had run out of coffee. I didn't rest properly at all thanks to classes and schoolwork and such. So things weren't looking good even before the marathon started. But other things were basically set. The streaming stuff was set. It was a little better. Organization-wise, we were set. People were on board, and it was great. Then, the actual marathon went down. And I already started exhausted because I had class on that Friday, I think. There were no blue screens. Yay. So I tried to play Ocarina of Time because Lambency said that was her favorite game. Didn't work out so well. I guess Ocarina of Time is just not my game, or I'm just too stupid for it or something, because it was 2 hours of me just wandering around going, what is happening? So I couldn't do Dance Pad Necrodancer because I was living in the attic of like a house that was built in the 1800s. So like one step and it was like, so I can only imagine what actual jumping would have been like. Plus I didn't have the dance pad with me either, and I didn't have a razor, so couldn't do it. So you know the marathon was going as it was. We finally got raided by Zeke again. I didn't have the fuck stick, so I grabbed a lamp. And I was like, fuck lamp, yeah, and I broke it. So I was like, all right. And the raid happened in the middle of issues with Dark Souls. I was having a lot of frame issues with Dark Souls at the time, and he picks terrible times to raid me. And of course, Dark Souls is one of those games that people are really passionate about, so they're like, this doesn't look right. Get better at computers. Then, you know, the forum thread podcast rescue take 2 happened. I remember being very annoyed at Zelda at this time for making me do giveaways, because I kept forgetting about him. She's like, hey, you need to do a giveaway. I was like, why? But the rescue didn't go as planned. I was having some overheating issues with the computer. I remember we tried to go to the Game Grumps Minecraft server, and my computer was just chugging. So Minecraft wasn't doing it. So we tried to go for about an hour or so. But we made it. Eventually we made it. So finally we got back to the part where, you know, I hit the first wall. Late night scary stuff. I decided, and since I had access to the PlayStation 4, streaming was a lot easier because I could just hit the share button and done. So we played some PT, and that was a horrible idea for multiple reasons because my house looked exactly like the house in the game, and I'm already scared of everything, right? So I was terrified for weeks after that. Like anytime I was walking at night in that house, I was like, and it didn't matter if I turned the lights on or off because it still looked the same. So I was just like, no, go to the bathroom. But people seemed to really enjoy it. Then we finally got to playing some what was called Dead Nation, which allowed the audience to finally interact with what was going on screen, which was that game. It was an overhead shooting zombie game, and people got to vote on like power ups and power downs and like game mechanics and stuff. It was really cool. And it helped reinvigorate that marathon because we went from like 50 or so viewers back to 100 in an instant. So people were again on board, and you know we kept getting more and more donations. I just couldn't see or hear them because I didn't get the notifications on the computer because we were on the PlayStation 4. Then finally we're at late night, early morning. I decided I was going to do some Nintendo 64 games. I remember we were playing Mario Party, but some people were really pulling to play some game I had never heard of. It like involved drawing stuff. I don't know. Like some people were trying to convince me to do it. So finally I was like, okay, fine, we'll do it. Then I tried setting it up, but nobody knew how to set it up. Nobody knew anything. It was just like, what's happening? And then we got raided by Allergy of Games right at that time. So again, terrible timing for everything. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to go back to Mario Party. So I played Mario Party for another few hours. And then, oh yeah, Town of Salem's a thing. I forgot. We did that at the first marathon too. We forgot to mention that. I actually spoke to the developers and I told them like how the marathon was a cool thing and what happened, and they were like, "Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, tweet at us when you're streaming that game." I was like, "Oh, okay." Made it seem like they weren't even listening. But yeah, and this is where you know memories started getting fuzzy. I think there were more giveaways that I kept getting angry at for having to do and stuff. I just remember anger. Like I was just pissed at nothing. It was weird. Then what happened after that? Like, I honestly have no idea what happened after Town of Salem.
Mostly we were trying to keep you awake.
Okay.
You kept doing the falling asleep with your eyes open thing while we were playing Town of Salem. So we kept playing Town of Salem, and you kept just kind of dozing.
I sense a theme.
What? I'm a person who likes sleep.
It's always great to have someone in the chat who reminds people in the chat and maybe the streamer that you should take regular water, coffee, food breaks. That's always great to have. Sometimes they don't listen to you, but you know.
Yeah, breaks are for jerks.
A for effort.
Then, yeah, so, and the lack of coffee and food and everything wasn't helping. Then I remember Cards Against Humanity with the TFT podcast again, and I remember my eyes burning at this point, because, like, I was just awake for so long, and I was so tired, like, my eyes were just burning. And then the end, I guess? I don't remember anything after that. Was there anything?
I think this was another case of he kept going on after the 24 hours.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently I kept going. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So some things that went right. Again, everybody was into it. Although it was a smaller event, it was still equally successful. We were able to hit some help for Lambency. Yeah, again, people were super involved. Giveaways worked, right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah, so for the most part, giveaways worked. We actually had a way of communicating with people now instead of me just going, "Hey, message me," and then getting a bajillion messages of people who didn't actually win it. And yeah, and the things that didn't go so right were the things that went kind of right the first time, where I was properly fed, I was drinking properly, and all that other stuff. But tis what it is, learning lessons and all that. So that is the end of the 2 major marathons. I know we did a couple of smaller marathons here and there. I know we did the thing for Suppy, where we helped her and her dad turn on electricity at their place because they were struggling. And then, I just did one at Thanksgiving just because, I had nothing else better to do. But that was for nothing, really. So, yeah. So, those are basically the marathons, things that went right, didn't go so right. Was there anything I'm forgetting?
I would say when if you're doing another one, now that you've seen, some stuff got fixed from the second one to the, from the first one, what would you want to fix going forward? Obviously, giveaways, I got on lockdown now.
Yeah.
I got a system, but...
More Red Bull.
More Red Bull, okay.
That's about it.
There you go. If you're doing a marathon, have more Red Bull and
More
a
Red
spreadsheet,
Bull.
and then everything's fine.
Continue not having a razor.
Yes,
Yes.
I was about to mention that. Keep razor blades at a safe distance. Preferably hide them. Don't break stuff. Don't get blue screens. Yeah. So, yeah, and actually, this is actually a pretty good moment for me to mention this. Since certain somebody set up some stuff for people to donate to me, and people bought me a computer, I was terribly embarrassed, but a lot of people decided to donate for me to get an actual computer to help with streaming stuff, and I promised that I was going to do, I think it was, 2 hours per, $400 or some shit?
I don't know. You were up to 48 hours or some shit.
Yeah, actually it was 36. So 36-hour marathon is indeed happening on September 25th. That's the last weekend of September. We still need to talk about subjects. But I'm super happy. We already have stuff in the works. I contacted the crew over at the Sour Kool-Aid Show, who are some of my favorite streamers now, and I'll introduce you to them really quick. They're some of my... Oops, where'd they go? They're some of my favorite people. The way this show works is the big shield in the middle is 16. That's their defense. That's each shot they took at that point. Each. And over there on the right is a 20-sided die that they roll every hour. And for each number, they do a special thing where it's like, oh, if you die X amount of many times, put your hand in the mousetrap or some shit like that. So Dan Paul is donating his time for this upcoming marathon, and he's drawing up an encounter board for us. It's going to be we're going to do that for the last 8 hours of the marathon with some Sonic the Hedgehog shenanigans. So we have a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. So yeah, that's the Sour Kool-Aid Show. So I announced that. I forgot to write all this stuff down, so I don't remember nothing. Am I forgetting anything?
I think you're good.
Cool. So we have about 20 minutes. I brought a little something we could possibly do. Since Town of Salem was such a huge success as both of the marathons, I figured I would bring that, as close to that as we could here. And it turns out I'm actually beating the Game Grumps to this. So we're going to play 2 rounds of One Night Ultimate Werewolf. I'm going to pull some of you guys out. We're going to hang out and play for a little bit. We're going to let some people cycle in and out. And in between that, we're going to take some questions. So you guys up for that? Cool. So let me get up and walk away from the mic while screaming at the top of my lungs while I get the box that I forgot to get. Did I bring it? Okay, I brought it. That would have been really upsetting. So, this game is for 10 people. So who would like to come up and play? Alright, Lemon, get up here. Great. Zach. Come on up. Everybody that wants to play. Come on. So what's that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I'm not gonna play. So we 1, 2, Here, just stand in the line this way. We'll make sure that stuff is right in your eyes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do we have 2 more people? 2 more people? 1 more person? All right. So here's how this game works. I already pre-shuffled all of this. Hey, join me off stage, will you? What are you texting? You doing Guardian work?
I got a job. I'm sorry.
All right, here, join us off stage. Let's get some stuff done. Okay, so here's how this game works. I wish there was a way for me to walk around with a microphone, but that's okay.
Want me to just carry it?
Well, no, don't worry about it. Okay, so the way this game works is I'm going to give you a card. You look at it, and then you don't look at it for the rest of the game. That's it, right? And there are 2 teams. There is the werewolf team, which should be, there's 2 werewolf cards in here and 2 minion cards.
If only there's a way.
Oh, nice. You're a hero. Cool. Look at me walking around and stuff. Okay, so there's a werewolf team, which are the bad guys, and their goal is to just not die. And there's a village team, and the village team are the good guys, and their goal is to kill 1 werewolf. That's it. Very simple. So, here. Look at your cards now, but don't look at them after we go night-night. So there is a day phase and a night phase for this game. Come on, come over here.
You're gonna make me stand up?
Yes.
No.
I'm standing up too.
I've been standing for so long. Can I just sit on this chair?
Sure. Why not?
Yay.
Okay, so go ahead and look at your cards now. And after that, we're going to go into night phase. Right? So everybody have their card memorized. You're not going to forget it at all. Okay, so night phase time. Everybody close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Keep your eyes closed. Now, under your chairs, there's something. Looks like a water balloon. I want you guys to grab it. You guys still have your eyes closed? Okay, cool. So grab your water balloons. It looks much like this one. Oh, shit, it popped. Fuck. Damn it. All right, that's okay. Wow, nobody... You opened your eyes. Stop opening your eyes. This joke would have been funnier if they opened their eyes, but all right.
I just got yelled at for doing that. Screw you.
All right, so... No. All right, so here's how this is going to work. I'm cold. So, do we have a doppelganger? Okay, so doppelganger, this is going to depend on a lot of stuff. This card's hard. So, if you're a villager, a tanner, or a hunter, you will do nothing. If you're a werewolf or a mason, you're going to wake up with the other werewolves or masons. If you're a seer, robber, troublemaker, or drunk, you will wake up now. If you're a minion, you will wake up with the minions. And if you're an insomniac, you're going to check your card after the insomniac round. So, keep in mind that. Werewolves, I need you guys to now wake up and look for each other. There should be 2. Great. Go back to bed. Minions, I want you to wake up. Now, werewolves, put your thumbs up. There are your teammates. Great. Please go back to sleep. Masons. Masons, if you wake up, please. There you go. You 2 are brothers. You're conspiring for the village team. Keep that in mind. Please go back to sleep. Seer. Do we have a seer? Please wake up. You may look at one player's card. Great. Robber. Or actually, yes, seer, go back to bed. Robber. You may switch your card with another player's card. So take your pick. Or you can switch it with one of the middle cards in my hand. Cool. Next is the troublemaker. Do we have a troublemaker? Troublemaker, you may switch 2 players' cards with each other. So who would you like to switch? They don't want to know who you are. It's a secret. Great. It's usually better if you don't know your cards are getting switched, but this is going to be good. Drunk. Do we have a drunk? No drunks. Maybe me. Lastly, do we have an insomniac? Cool. So that is it for the nighttime, so everybody wake up. Congratulations, you did not get any water balloons at you. So now you guys have about 3 minutes to discuss among each other who is the werewolf and the one person you're going to kill. Water balloons. So while that's going on, we'll give them 3 minutes, and I could take some questions if you guys have some questions. Mingle, talk. Sure, what's going on?
Whatever happened to the fucking fuck stick?
It's at home. It's at home. I still use it from time to time. It's really heavy, though. Cool. Any other questions?
You promised to buy me a drink at some time. You don't have to do that, but is there any time this weekend you're not working week I could share one with you?
I have to look because I'm working. Oh, you're instant JJ. Dude, good to meet you, man. Dude, I'll have to try and figure something out. Cool. Cool, man. Anybody else? Questions? Answers? Comments? Concerns? God, I don't want to hand you the mic.
So when you are streaming, and you're going up for 24 hours, is it better to be comfortable or make yourself uncomfortable to help yourself stay awake?
So because it's a 24-hour stream, being uncomfortable sucks. And it gets worse as it goes. So it gets to the point where it's just absolutely painful. So you're comfortable. Like you just keep yourself awake with like sheer adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause being like, for example, I did that 36-hour marathon for Thanksgiving just because, and I had such a bad backache that I couldn't walk for 2 days. So being uncomfortable, not a good idea. Has it been 3 minutes? All right, it's been 3 minutes. Hey, all right. Hey, oh, it's over. Who you? All right, so everybody spread out. Spread out. It's like the Three Stooges. All right, so at the count of 3, you will point to the person you want to kill, and we're going to count up the votes. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, who are you pointing to? Him? Okay, and you're pointing to Zach. Figures. You're pointing to Zach. Okay, you're pointing to him. So that's 2 votes for Zach, 1 vote for you, 1 vote for you. You're pointing to Zach? Okay, that's 3 votes for Zach. You're pointing to Zach? You're pointing to Zach? Okay, Zach's dead. Who are you?
The werewolf.
Oh! God. You suck. All right. Oh, did I forget to do stuff?
Yes.
What did I forget to put down?
You're like, if you're doppelganger, you're doppelganger. That's a really hard one. If you're in your
Oh, I completely skipped the line. You were supposed to look at somebody else's card.
She knew I was a werewolf. She pointed at me.
Oh, boo. Maker. And we're going to throw this one out. Okay. So, can we get another group of 10 people to come up here if you guys would like to play and discuss stuff? But actually, we're going to have some special guests joining us for this one. We're going to have some special guests come to volunteer to come play with us this time around. So, ladies and gentlemen, Stan Lewis and Jaden Posada from Gauntlet Season 2. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 3 more. 3 more people? Uh-oh. That's trouble. 2 more people? Uh-oh, more trouble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't play because I have to moderate. Yeah, come on up. Why not? Cool. Give me 1 second, please. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. What I'm going to have you do is you're going to look at your cards, and when you're ready, you just put it down on the floor in front of you, face down. Like that, you don't know who switched your card with what, where, when, or why. Now, excuse me while I try to shuffle these. cardboard cards. I figured that water would be Yes, I lactate. Take one card, look at it, memorize it. What other words that rhyme with memorize it? Gerberize it. Gerbers. Gerber babies are weird. And here you go. All right, so look at that card, memorize the hell out of it, and then put it down in front of you face down. Cool. All right. So there's no doppelgangers this time, so I can't screw that up. All right. Finally, we're at the time of night. Close your eyes. Be-doo-doo. Where's the thing? Hold on. All right, now you get out your water balloons under your seats. Okay, here we go. First, werewolves. Wake up. Look at each other. You are the team of werewolves. Now please close your eyes. Minions, please wake up. And werewolves, please put your thumbs up. Minion, those are your teammates. You were fighting for the werewolves. Minions, please go back to sleep. Werewolves, put your thumbs down. Masons, please wake up. Look for your other brother, if you will. All right, please go to bed. What a goof. Seer, hey, whoa, no talking at night, you're sleeping. Seer, please wake up. Please look at another player's card. All right, Seer, please go to bed. Robber, please wake up. Please switch two players' cards. Or I'm sorry, switch your card with another player's card. I can't, I'm illiterate. All right, perfecto. Robber, please go to sleep. Troublemaker, please wake up. Switch two players' cards. That's the right one. I just keep skipping lines. I'm illiterate. All right, preferably today. Limited time here. Let's go. I almost said your name. All right. Please go to bed. Drunk. Do we have a drunk? Do we not? Okay. I probably shouldn't have said that. Drunk, please, without looking. All right. There's one. Last but not least.
Should you preferably play for a live stream?
Well, my kind of games are like the really old platformer games, like anything that's stupid hard, like because apparently I'm a masochist myself. So like, the first. So yeah, the first game. Yeah, okay. So the first game I played was actually I Want to Be the Bashi, which is a fan game of I Want to Be the Guy, for those of you who know, and that's just stupidly hard for no reason, and it's trolly and it's terrible. Yeah, and you know that's the kind of game I like. Cool. Do we have any more questions? I think we have time for one more. What's up? You're gonna have to yell because I can't get the mic over here. I actually tried speedrunning Mario 64. Can't do it. That takes way too much time playing just one game and practicing one thing. Too hard. I'm out. And it's time. It's time. Everybody shut up. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. Hey, oh. Hey. All right. Okay. So, welcome to Killing Day. Or night, I guess. I don't know. Count of three. I'm going to point to who you're going to kill. 1, 2, 3. Is everybody pointing at Webwave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 for Webwave. I don't think we need to do the math. So please, check your card. Hunter. So as a hunter, you get to kill one person when you die. So choose one person to kill. There was 6 of them. Zelda. Zelda was just a lonely villager, so the werewolves and the minions have won. Congratulations. Who were the werewolves and minions? Nice. Well, there you go. It's 1-1. You're going to have to find a harrowing conclusion to this at next year's panel. They're not going to give me another panel. So, yeah, so that's the end of this. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I didn't expect that many of you to show up. I'm going to keep talking through your claps just because I'm going to say something really important right now, and you're not going to hear it because you're clapping. So, yeah, so that's it for the panel. I'm going to hang out outside. Like, is there a good place for me to hang out? Downstairs? Upstairs? Okay. Oh, okay, so we're going to hang out right there. Perfect. Actually, you know what? Mrs. Violence, who's also a fellow Twitch streamer, is having a panel on making gaming your business upstairs in room 4 something. Downstairs. Oh. Oh, then she's at the Marriott. Not the Marriott, the other one. Okay. Hilton, yes. So if you have time, go check her out. She's, her and I hang out in Man vs. Games chat quite a bit. But yeah, so thanks everybody for joining. See you guys next time. I hope this was somewhat valuable information, knowledge, something, words.